Okay. What up, people? It's your boy TB here, and it's your boy Fishen. How are you doing today, Fishen?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Good. It's very, very good. Doing great as well, sir.
Yeah, great is good and good is great.
There you go. There you go. Today, guys, we don't have um, a whole lot of time, but we do have a good bit of stuff to kind of get to you about. And I figured, you know what? We'll just kind of go straight into it. If that's cool with you, Fishing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. First one that we're going to do is we have transfer portal news, like a good bit of it, to be honest. And so,
It's a good bit of it. It's a lot almost to even keep up with. You want to start with the five or with the transfers that have already committed, or the ones that are open, or what you think?
I like the let's see the open. Look, give me some. I know you said you had some crystal ball transfers.
I
Give me
got
that.
some crystal balls. I do have some crystal balls. So crystal ball transfers, probably a big two right here. Are two from Alabama. Well, actually, one from Bama and one from A&M. This one is Chris Marshall from Texas A&M's 5-star. That big oil money class,
Yeah.
5-star wide receiver from Texas A&M, transferring to TCU. Apparently, TCU's successful season this year has elevated their transfer. Uh, what do you say? Value, I guess, or TCU's just TCU's program at least. But anyway, JoJo Earl, wide receiver from Alabama, 4-star. He's transferring there too. They're both crystal ball to TCU, and that's kind of big time for TCU. I don't know about the quarterback situation next year, or if maybe they have something already in mind, or maybe somebody in the portal right now they already know they're getting something. Those are the kind of things we don't know, but apparently they're going there for a reason, and they're both highly rated wide receivers. So that's kind of a big one there. Justin Flo from Oregon. I know we all remember Justin Flo, 5-star linebacker, like number one linebacker in the country. There's a crystal ball out there, and Zona Tucson isn't here, but crystal ball for him to go to Arizona. And I'm gonna have to ask you how you feel about that, because Justin Flo to Arizona,
Yeah,
not Miami, not Bama, Arizona.
I have no idea what to even say about that. Whether it's NIL, maybe it's he knows somebody there. I no idea. I know we'll find out more if he does commit, but it's very, very, very curious to see how that happens.
Very, very odd. Um, that was my first thoughts. But 4-star running back was committed to Notre Dame. He decommitted. This is Deion Sanders' first commit at Colorado. And I took a look at the Colorado class. They're like
Yeah,
63rd or something. With that commit flipping from Notre Dame, it's just the first of many, but I think they only have like 13 commits. So I'm telling you, I think Colorado not only has room, but they're going to end up getting a lot of either transfers or stealing recruits from people. So that's just one of them. Dylan Edwards, 4-star running back. Let's see here. As far as all the other transfers go, most of the big ones are still out for, recruitment. And so we don't know what's going to come of it, but there is pretty much the top ones, and a few more have entered. So Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina is a big one. Played in the Sun Belt for what, 3-4 years already, I think. Super senior.
true. Very
I
expensive.
think dude's going to be a monster. Even if he goes to a Power 5 SEC school, I think he'd be a beast.
Man,
Absolute beast.
I am curious to see. And you said, like you said, the Justin Flo to Arizona one is trippy. That who was it? The number 4 running back or the 4-star running back you were talking about decommitted from Notre Dame, turned around
Mm-hmm.
decommitted to Colorado. The more players that commit to Colorado, the more players will commit. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. As whenever the train gets rolling, it's gonna get rolling and rolling and rolling. It's gonna just keep rolling. So I agree with that. Yeah, it's gonna be like a jump on board type situation. Wide receiver Christian Leary from Alabama,
okay.
and this is gonna lead me at my point at the end of this little segment, but. Another wide receiver from Bama. That's 2 total, and I think there's another one in the portal. Another 5-star wide receiver from Bama in the portal. But Christian Leary has committed to UCF from Bama.
That's right. Didn't you tell me JoJo Earl committed to TCU?
Well, they're crystal balled. So it was the Texas A&M 5-star wide receiver and JoJo Earl. They're like a tandem duo. Crystal balled both to TCU.
Got you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It'd be a good way to replace Quentin Thompson, or I think that's his name, Quentin Thompson.
Yeah.
TCU's elite wide receiver that they're going to lose this year. But yeah, Cade McNamara transferred to Iowa, and he had some interesting thoughts, and he came out and said some stuff. I think he was on a podcast.
Oh, you talking about the thoughts he said about Iowa?
Yeah, he was talking about how the shitty offense. Keep thinking the offense is going to be shitty. I hope you keep sleeping on us, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like he's acting like he's about to go in there and stir it up. But I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the offensive coordinator changing or anything like that. So like you and me both know, and everybody in this chat, Iowa's offense is almost dead last in the country. So if they don't make a change, at least coaching or something, I don't see it really changing. But it's kind of a good thought to have, I guess, if you're him. But that was just interesting that he actually made those comments.
And I could see that that's a huge win if they turn around and he does bring that program back. I could, you know what I mean. If I saw that, I would definitely say, okay, he's ready to go to the next.
This is a 4th down situation, TB. Yeah. If he goes for it and makes it, he's a genius. If he fails, he's an idiot. And so if he goes in there and lights the offense up, he's a genius. If he goes in there and fails, everybody's gonna look back into the offseason or right now and be like, yeah, you what you say? So that's probably just really what it is.
Actually very, very, very true. I am kind of curious. But if we could, like I said, we'll see. I think it's a long, long road of transfer commits and a lot of this and that. But I'm excited. I think I'm very excited to see where this goes because it's a whole nother recruiting. It's a whole nother form or way of recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Have you heard of y'all going after any transfers?
No, right now I have not. I'm very, very curious. I don't know what the goal is. I don't know. I have no idea. The only thing that I could think of, to be honest, would be going after a running back, like going after a running back for this year. It's like I have no idea what they need, but I think it depends really who leaves. I think that's another thing too.
Papa Shrimp, I'm gonna let you know, bro. I'm gonna let you know exactly how I feel about it coming up. Let you know exactly how I feel. Anyway, no, I don't think y'all will go after any transfers just because your roster so loaded. I don't think you have really much room either, which is a good thing. So, yeah, I don't really see that. I will tell you, Florida did get one defensive line transfer from Louisville. He's 6'7", 300 pounds. Louisville's D-line wasn't that bad last year. So, and the kid's got 4 years of eligibility. So, well, technically 3, but probably 4 with the COVID thing or whatever. But so it's a good pickup, especially for Florida's D-line. So I'm happy with that one. I can't think of any more at the top of my head. I know Missouri has Dominic Lovett, highly weighted wide receiver in the portal. He's predicted somewhere, but like I said, I don't want to get too deep in the predictions. The crystal balls we will because it's actually educated predictions, but like the things you see on Twitter and all that shit. So, but he's going to be a good one, and there's multiple good more. Like wide receiver from Oregon too. So
Jacob makes a good point. We did have a former Mississippi State receiver that's in the portal come and visit Georgia, so I could see them going after one or two, especially guys that are ready to go. That's true. It's very true, Papa Shrimp. But we'll see. All right, good deal. I like that, dude. That was
and since Papa Shrimp's in here, we'll go to the last one, I guess, for the night. And this one kind of comes with a little bit of a question. But Jaheim Bell from South Carolina entered the portal and went to Florida State. That's a big get. I'm not gonna lie, especially for a team needing a tight end. That's a really big get for FSU. And also, Marshawn Lloyd, the leading running back for South Carolina, is in the portal. Why is South Carolina beating Tennessee, killing Tennessee, beating Clemson, and they still have people in the portal. And you could ask this for a lot of teams, but what's the deal here?
I'm gonna say that South Carolina's trying to take that leap, trying to take that jump to being a better team, and I think it's a lot of cleaning what little bit of house you have left to clean. Like
It
guys
could be.
that aren't bought in. I think it's just not. No, I mean I don't think Jaheim Bell's one of those guys, but I do think that Shane Beamer has proven he's trying to beat big teams, and it's like, hey, look, like you don't want to be here. I'm sure he's told them enough to get them out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird because you got Spencer Rattler, Jaheim Bell, Marshawn Lloyd, and then there's one more receiver. I forget his name, and he's really, really good. But that's two of your best offensive players on the whole team in the portal and leaving. True. It's just kind of weird. Like South Carolina is elevating slowly, and people are still leaving. The best players are leaving. It's a little weird.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna move us to the transfers that have committed. But before I do, I'd like to spit the 1 through 10 on top available transfers left.
Yeah, spit that.
This was 9 hours ago. So if somebody has committed since then, you let me know, or the chat will let me know. Denver Harris, a highly ranked cornerback out of Texas A&M.
5-star.
Another cornerback from Virginia, which I don't think he was a 5-star, but I think he had a really good season. But he is another cornerback. He's number 2. Coastal Carolina's quarterback is number 3 on the list, right in front of Devin Leary. They're at 3 and 4, which me and you both have said. Devin Leary and Grayson they're good quarterbacks. They're ready to go. They're gamers. Texas A&M has a receiver, Chris Marshall. That's one you were talking about earlier. That's number 5. Number 6 is DJ Uiagalelei, but he is also rumored to go wherever his brother goes. So I think that's where we are right now. We're going to see if that turns out to be true. Hudson Card was the backup to Quinn Ewers this year. We saw him play a few games when Ewers was hurt, but he is number 7 on the list. But away from that, there's not really anybody else. I mean, there's a defense or offensive lineman from Alabama that everybody's talking about, but kind of curious to see. Yes, it's kind of curious to see where these guys are going. Do you have anything? Is there anything you could think of? If I just wanted to announce that, so if you want to go ahead and go to the transfer commits, we can do that too.
There's not that I can think of. The number 2 player you said, Ventrell Cypress from Virginia Tech, I think.
Yeah,
he. There's been a lot of buzz about him. There's got to be something special about him. I'm not gonna act like I know much, but he's number 2 for a reason as a cornerback. Like I've heard really good stuff about that dude.
Got you. Okay.
As far as quarterbacks go, still nothing. Everybody's kind of being quiet. Hudson Card, Devin Leary, Grayson McCall enters, and then you got whatever the other one was you said, but DJU even quiet. And I sent you that picture about DJ's brothers, top 3. It was Oregon, Ohio State, and I'm checking real quick. Oregon, Ohio State, and Southern Cal. So I'm predicting that DJ follows suit, but we don't know yet.
Yeah. Luke Walker said that Devin Leary is mid. Tiger, would you like to get a quarterback out of the portal after Stetson leaves, or do you have faith in Beck? Falcons fan, I'll be honest, dude. I think it's time that we stop with trying to get transfers, because I mean, if you go back after Jake Fromm, I feel like every quarterback we tried to get was a transfer, going from who was it, Wake Forest quarterback and Newman to Jason Daniels to it's like, you know what, at some point we got to put the responsibility on us and bite the bullet. So,
and not only that, I mean, you're recruiting 4 and 5 stars. I mean, you don't need any.
You shouldn't need any. You
shouldn't. Well, actually, I'm not even going to say you shouldn't. You shouldn't need any. You don't, and you shouldn't. There's a bigger problem if you do.
I'm gonna look up some of the commits. I want you to tell, if you will, tell Papa Shrimp what you were talking about with the whole, like, how do you feel about, the Miami deal, them recruiting at a dominant level just to,
All right. So I'll go through kind of a little spiel here, and then I'll kind of go into it. One of the Cristobal things I was going to send you, TB, was Quo, whatever his name is, Quo Russaw and James Smith, both 5 stars. One's a 5-star edge, one's a 5-star D lineman. They're a package deal. They've been known to be a package deal for the longest time that we know. Florida has been pushing hard for mainly Cool Russaw, and they're both crystal ball to Alabama now.
Okay.
And tomorrow there's a commitment from Samson Okunlula, 5-star offensive tackle, maybe even the best offensive tackle in the country. And he's crystal ball to Miami. And that you know, with Miami going 5-7, whatever they did, you have to understand that it's definitely NIL, right? It has to be. I mean, and not only that, and this is what Mario Cristobal does, and this is actually what pisses me off the most, but he has these players do this stuff on purpose. But if you go on this 5-star offensive tackles Instagram page or any kind of page like that, he has nothing but Florida stuff posted. There's videos of his visit to Florida. It looked great, looked perfect, looked like, honestly, we should land him. But I guarantee you he goes to Miami, and I guarantee you it's because of Mario, and he's doing this on purpose. It's been a troll/flex on Florida the whole time, and he does it on purpose. I've already figured it out. I mean, it happened a few times, and I was like, well, this is kind of weird. But no, Mario Cristobal has these players, like, literally he doing this stuff for him on purpose just to troll and, like, act like he's, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm telling you, it's just there's something just weird going on. Other than that, though, my question to you, TB, and the comments, I guess, but try not to make this too quick. But we saw the Texas A&M approach with recruiting and paying for pretty much any player they could get, right?
Yeah.
Like the most talented players, doesn't matter what position, if they fit the culture, blah 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 blah. That's why we saw Texas A&M fall, right? It was a culture mishap, and you know the whole deal. Do you think that is the wrong approach? Which I know it's the wrong approach, but do you think that Miami may be doing that, or maybe Bama is starting to do that, or any other teams just that have NIL leverage are doing that just because it's a kind of a buy player type of deal right now?
I think that kind of stuff happens with teams that are on the verge of being elite. I don't think elite teams do that, but I could see Florida or Florida State doing it to each other. Because in a sense, that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to win over that rivalry, at least in the player's mind. That's how it works. So yeah, I could easily see that, dude.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm telling you, the social media thing is playing a bigger role than anything in this, and I'm telling you right now, I've paid very close attention. Mario Cristobal is literally doing this on purpose to Florida on purpose.
Yeah,
telling.
What's
you.
that?
So, it is what it is. But it's just my thoughts. But yeah, Florida losing out on Russaw and James Smith, both 2 5-star defensive players, and then a 5-star offensive tackle. Pushed for him really, really hard in the past 2 weeks. Like late push, like really going hard after him, and just come up blank. More than likely, unless there's a surprise happen, just coming up completely blank. And it's just the life of a Florida fan, I guess. But that's just is what it is.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So 5 and 7 seasons.
Okay, my bad. So I was gonna say I'd pulled up right here the transfers from this year's season, or this, I guess, going into this off season, some of the high ranking ones.
Thank you,
Crazy.
Thank you.
Jaheim Bell is number 5 on the list. I didn't realize he was that high up. So apparently he's like a hybrid. Like he's a tight end / receiver. That's kind of cool. You got Chris Marshall, the receiver, going to TCU. I'm scrolling down to some of the commits.
Mm-hmm.
Tackle from Indiana going to Oklahoma. See, that's the part I love to see. Eligibility 4 years. Like that makes me happy to see stuff like that.
Yes. I mean, I understand both sides. Like you get there and then your coach is fired and you don't know what to expect from the new program. You want to start new. Got you, man. You do your thing. Same thing with later in their career in college. So I mean, I get all that.
Yeah. And last 3 I'll go over. You know how we talked about Cade going to Iowa, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Eric All, which is a tight end from Michigan, is also going to Iowa.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, man, like that's so. Anyways, thought that's pretty neat. Uh, last year we felt like Ole Miss kind of won the transfer portal with a lot of them that they got. We'll see who wins it this year. Um, going into the next. Oh yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and start on this part. I wanted to talk about Mike Leach for just a few minutes. If you guys are cool with that, you cool with that, Mr. Fishen?
Hey man, this is Mike Leach week. I couldn't hear too much about him.
There
Yeah,
you go.
so do your thing, man.
I like that. That's a good way to start this off. Okay, so gonna go over just him as a coach. I'll keep it short, but
Hmm.
dude's freaking awesome. If anybody's ever heard any of his press conferences or heard him speak, he is a one of a kind by far. And a lot of the stories that I'm hearing from people away from football, it really makes you just appreciate the kind of pull or stature that coaches have, the kind of impact that they have on not just kids but adults. But anyways, with that being said, his overall 158 and 107 as a head coach. Um, he has been to he is 8-9 in bowl games. He coached for 21 years with a 600% winning percentage and a 471% or 47% win percentage and bowl record or bowl games. And to finish it off, he did not play college football. Did you know Mike Leach played rugby?
No,
That is what he played. He did not play college football. The
tough
man played.
mother effer, bro.
Yes. So, anyways, away from that, I just
Well, can I tell
I,
you something that I heard the other, or I read it.
yeah, hit me with it.
So somebody came to Mike Leach that was playing for him, I guess, and Mike Leach told him, and this is reported, I guess, and there's pictures of it, I guess. So I guess it was true, but so Mike Leach at Texas Tech told this kid that was playing for him, like, you're not good enough to play, you're never going to play, but I want you to come on the coaching staff as an assistant, a grad assistant. The kid got pissed, kid left. Next day, the kid came back and was a grad assistant under Mike Leach. And do you have any guesses on who that is?
No way, bro. Who?
Lincoln Riley.
No way, dude.
That's that. Yep.
That's wild. That
Mm-hmm.
man, you talk about being able to spot talent, bro. Like
He must have
that.
saw something in him, but yeah, he said you can't play. You probably coach though.
Well, and it had to be one of those where like he knew he was smart, like he had a high IQ, but he
Hmm.
just didn't have the phys, the not everybody can be a 6'5" quarterback, you know.
Yeah,
So
facts. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But yeah, I thought that was crazy. I didn't know that at all. And then I saw the picture wherever I saw it, but there's Lincoln Riley, little 20-year-old Lincoln Riley with a headset on, standing beside Mike Leach at Texas Tech, and I'm like, oh, well, damn, that's crazy, man. But anyway,
yeah. All right. Well, on to the next part of the show, people. Uh, yes, I wanted to bring this up. Did you know Georgia Tech has a new offensive coordinator?
no, really,
Yes.
Georgia Tech is hiring people. They can afford it.
Yeah.
Who
I
is
did
it?
not
Tell me
know.
who it is.
It is one of the construction workers outside that helped build Spaghetti Junction.
Oh, hey,
They
that's a
figured
hell of a hire, man.
if he could come out with those routes, that he could do a good job
If he
creating
can read a
routes.
construction blueprint, he ought to be able to dial up a play big time.
Exactly. So we're gonna have a lot of faith in him. Not for real. It is Buster Faulkner from Georgia. He was an offensive analyst that had a pretty good amount of power in our offense. Um, and I guess I don't know much about him. I know I've heard Todd Monken, our offensive coordinator, brag on him before this even happened. But I guess I've heard him, brag about him. I think for Georgia Tech, they need somebody that is going to allow freedom, and I think with the head coach being a defensive coordinator, that's about to be what happens. And but how hard is it? I guess asking you, how hard is it going to be to get players to Georgia Tech? And if it's not going to be hard, how many years do you give them to fill a roster?
Man, that's really tough. That's really tough. I mean, I think everybody knows that Georgia Tech doesn't really prioritize football, and it just is what it is. I mean, they were going after Dion. It was no secret. And with that being said, Colorado got Dion without, and they've admitted they don't even have the money to pay him yet, but they know
Yeah.
it's coming. So, I mean, Georgia Tech just, they've got to get their stuff together, man. I mean, I don't think, I'm not going to even lie to you. I don't see a future anytime soon in the next 4 to 5 years with Georgia Tech becoming decently relevant.
Yeah,
For that reason, I mean, I think they can put in work and kind of get stuff worked out and put it towards football, but I haven't seen any indication that they want to do that.
got you. Well, that's also a good point. I love what Jacob Watson just said. Lincoln Riley permanently damaged his arm in his senior year of high school. He was never the same quarterback after that. That's why that situation came up. That's pretty cool.
So then he must have, yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jacob. So that's a little backstory. Yeah.
Well, and Papa Shrimp agreed. He said Georgia Tech needs to hit the transfer portal hard. And to be honest, if you're Georgia Tech, you don't need. I mean, now would you love to have it? Yes. You do not need to get any of those top 10, top 15 guys in the transfer portal.
Mm-mm.
You just need guys who are ready to come in and buy in. So they could get anywhere from 40 to 80.
Hey, I'm gonna call it right now, and I didn't even tell you this. Emory Jones is in the transfer portal. Emory Jones to Georgia Tech.
Emory Jones. I don't.
No, but no, I agree though. Like you're saying, you don't need to get the top kids, and you can't get the top kids because Georgia Tech's NIL isn't in place, and these kids in the portal, it's like re-recruiting players. I mean, their NIL money is in the mix, heavy. And they don't have that. So they're going to be looking for maybe some JUCO players, like some sleeper FBS teams with better players for that caliber that are looking to go up into Power 5 like that. That's the kind of, you need to be scouting if you're on Georgia Tech's roster or coaching staff. That's what you need to be doing. Because you're not going to get these top kids, and you do need to hit the portal hard.
I thought about it. I guess another way for Georgia Tech to try to compete in the NIL, you have all of those businesses that are all right beside each other. You've got Cartoon Network that's down there. You've got the CNN building. You've got Coca-Cola factory. Like, that would be my first guess on the building. You know what I mean? That would be my first guess on
it's the ATL, baby. I mean, there's nothing stopping them really from. I mean, they have all the access of pretty much anybody.
Yes. No, exactly.
One of the biggest cities in the country.
And you don't have to have. You don't have to have a $500 million deal. You know what I mean? You don't have to have that. Just setting it up, because all you need is Georgia Tech to do better this year. And then what happens? All of a sudden now your stock goes up and they go, well, we'll give you a little more. Or, hey, so-and-so wants to invest. So anyways, that's my point. But good luck to Georgia Tech. Yeah. What'd you say?
I'll give you a quick comparison. Georgia Tech's football program is being run like Wisconsin's offense is being run for the past 5 years. That's a good comparison.
That is.
Wisconsin's offense, way outdated, not working anymore. Georgia Tech's program still running the same way. Outdated, it's not working in the new age, blah, blah, blah. Same thing.
Yes. Falcons fan. He's saying all those businesses that I'm talking about could just go with the school that's an hour away. He talking about Georgia.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing too. I mean, but Georgia's kind of dominating. Anybody that they want, they're going to get. But no reason Georgia Tech shouldn't be able to get the smaller talent that's still talented, but that's besides the point.
Well, he's saying more the NIL, like being able to create.
Well, yeah.
But I still think you could have it in both. I'm sure there are companies that
there's plenty of money to go around in Atlanta.
Plenty. Well, good luck to Georgia Tech and their best head coach in the last 75,000 years.
Sorry.
Okay, so real quick, I'm going to ask you this. We were going to have a guest on. I'm going to give him time, but if he doesn't, then we'll bring up his point of what he was wanting to talk about. We'll go ahead and talk about it. But I wanted to ask you, sir, who is Florida going to go after in the transfer portal to play quarterback?
I would love Grayson McCall.
And I guess
I'd
I'm not
love it.
saying like explain your answer, write down your work. I'm not saying that, but do you say it because of the offense he was in, or
Well,
you're saying
I can kind of explain it. Billy Napier was at ULM and he played Coastal Carolina and namely Grayson McCall multiple times. So the guy knows what he's made of, and so if he likes it, I don't see why you don't go after him. Devin Leary, I think, could run the RPO program that Florida runs. That offense. I think he'd run it pretty decently, and so that's why I say Devin Leary, Grayson McCall. I'll tell you what, though, Graham Mertz, the Wisconsin quarterback transfer, was at Florida for a visit, and I about threw up.
oh,
I
okay,
about threw up.
okay.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, if anybody remembers, and I know we're going kind of way back here, but I think it was 2019 or 2020, Graham Mertz's true freshman year, he was highly rated 4-star. And when Wisconsin, it was the COVID year, pretty sure it was 2020. Graham Mertz came out and started lighting it up, completely lighting it up at Wisconsin, lighting it up. And everybody thought maybe Wisconsin finally had a quarterback and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like he probably would have kept doing it. And I think the longer he stayed at Wisconsin, he just kept getting broke down into that just outdated doo-doo system, and it made him a bad quarterback. I do actually believe that too. So I think he could be an okay quarterback and wherever he goes. Hopefully it's not us, but I think he's a little bit underrated.
Well, okay. No, I mean I like it. I guess, like I said, I was just very curious because
Yeah,
I know there's a few guys out there that you wouldn't mind to have, like for sure. But just looking at a lot of them, dude, it's like it's crazy how many are actually out there. Like
we
how
better
many?
get one. I'm telling you, we better get one.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. No,
Yeah,
really.
we better get one, bro.
Well, good luck to y'all on that. I do think it's exciting to think about the future because you do have a lot of other pieces that are in place. You need somebody at the helm.
Yeah.
But yeah, need a good
Yeah.
captainship. But anyways, yeah, I'll go ahead and get to this last part. Is there anything that you want to say before I start on this last piece that I'm about to talk about?
Oh man, I could say multiple things. We don't have much time, so go ahead and hit them with it.
Okay, so there were a few Ohio State. Ohio State plays Georgia. Well, there were a few Ohio State YouTubers who were bringing up what they thought were good points. They were speaking about Georgia and Ohio State and how when they've looked at the defense, they've looked at, okay, these numbers are not as good as they thought they were. They were like, okay, Georgia does have a good defense, but they were explaining that, Ohio State, their defense has, not saying the best numbers in the world, but they're not that far off from Georgia. And they're trying to say, okay, well, our offense is, we're really good. We'll be able to try them with that. Our defense, that we're not the worst defense, blah, blah, blah. They're bringing, like I said, being able to talk about stats. But then I found this out. The guy was supposed to come on today let me know Ohio State has played 5 teams this year in their regular season who were in the 23 worst, or the worst 23 teams of offense. Iowa, Northwestern, I can't even think of some of the other ones. So you're telling me out of all the teams in college football, almost half of the teams you played were in the bottom tier of offense, and you still look okay as a defense as far as your numbers. And Michigan State was in the 30s. So literally half of your regular season was against JV high school football teams, and still you weren't able to lead in all numbers. Heck,
Well,
at least Illinois proved it. At least Illinois proved, okay, if we're playing lesser talent, we're going to actually shut them down. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like we talked about with Iowa's offense, one of the worst in the country. Northwestern, that game was what 10 to 17 at one point. They were almost about to lose to Northwestern, a 1-7 Northwestern at the time.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my God. And then it's snowing outside. It's windy. We can't throw the ball. Well, run the ball, dummy. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
Exactly.
Ohio State is one of the most talented teams in the country. I mean, there's no reason to be even getting close to losing that like that. They got one of the best defensive coordinator hires in the offseason with Jim Knowles. Like, there's no reason for Ohio State to be that bad. Now,
No,
like you said, though, the stats say otherwise, but it is because of kind of the teams that they've played. And I still don't think their defense is terrible, but um, I forget which game it was that JT Tamalu
who?
had a monster game. Was it Purdue?
Say,
No, it wasn't Purdue. I forget what game it was, but he absolutely just might have been Penn State. I think it was Penn State actually because he had his best performance ever, and Penn State still almost beat him with Sean Clifford throwing 2 interceptions in the first quarter. But yeah, I don't know, man. Ohio State's just really tricky, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think Ohio State played Toledo and won 77-21. Ohio State played Arkansas State, won 45-12. They played Wisconsin, won 52-21. They played Rutgers for Michigan State, 50 points, 50 points. Iowa, 50 points. Like Northwestern, Indiana. Like I don't know if I keep going or not. And then the one good team they play, Michigan. Oh my goodness, and they lose.
It pushes them around, stops a hole in them. Oh man. Go
I
ahead.
don't.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no,
Finish it.
nothing. I don't know. I really don't know anything else to say. It's just one of
Yeah.
those. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. ECG said Ryan Day sucks. Ryan Day, and you've heard me complain about this multiple times with Billy Napier calling plays at Florida. Well, Ryan Day calls the plays. I mean, he's got one of the best wide receiver coaches in the country, the best wide receiver recruiters in the country. And I forgot to tell you that in the recruiting segment, they landed a 2024 5-star wide receiver again. They have 2 wide
I
receiver 5
did
stars
see
in this class.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I did just see that.
Yeah. So it's obvious what Ohio State wants to do. They want to continue to be gimmicky and continue to just dominate on offense and throwing the ball. They're trying to be an air raid offense almost, damn near. They get good running backs usually from time to time, but it's like they're showing you really what they want to do by how they're recruiting. And I don't know if Jim Knowles was enough to change that, but Ohio State doesn't seem like the team that wants to literally stuff you defensively and at the offensive line at lines of scrimmage and beat you that way. They don't seem like that.
And they're very inconsistent. There are times where I'm like, man, that's great play calling, and then there are times like, dude, what are y'all?
I think it's a lot of CJ Stroud though. He doesn't like getting hit, stepping up in the pocket. Shitty play calling is a part of that. But other times, I mean, Ryan Day will call up a perfect game, and CJ Stroud will be on fire, and it's just totally different. But like you said, it's just inconsistent. It's very inconsistent.
Yes. So I guess that's a good thing for Ohio State fans. I guess Ohio State fans understand maybe we come out hot, maybe we don't, but I don't know. I guess as a Georgia fan, I want all the smoke. You know what I mean? I want people to come and say,
Mhm.
well, Georgia, y'all didn't do this, or Georgia, this and that. And it's like, I want so badly for that to be the case. And I mean, now if we go in there and we win 45-43 from a kick field goal, I mean, a win is a win. But I would love nothing more than for us to straight dominate Ohio State, put all that to bed. I don't know if you got to hear what's his name, Golden Blue Dude show. He was talking about.
You think I watched that?
No, it was the one that I was on, big dog.
Oh well, hell, if you was on it, I'll watch it. Hell, I'll go back and watch it. Big, tell me.
But Michigan State fan was asked, what is it going to take for, Michigan to beat Georgia? Like, well, how was that going to work? And so I was like, all right, just listening to it. His thought or his mindset was Georgia last year. Yeah, they destroyed us, but he said we did not expect to go to a bowl game. He was like, whenever you look at the videos and the stories of everybody, they're out enjoying it like it's a celebration. They're, on the beach. They're doing all this and that. He was like, I don't think they were prepared for that game. I think they were just happy to be there. And it's like, I I don't know. I
Yeah.
get that, but I don't think I would ever use that as an excuse. And it's no offense to dude. He was a really nice guy, but that's
Yeah.
coaching. That's coaching if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
pretty much.
I
Hey
don't know.
Zona. Yeah, Zona, I see you in here. And BVD, you know what? As much as I hate Georgia, I might actually start chatting with you.
The
Um
Nature Boy was the first one. I was the very first for this Sunday.
Nature Boy, you hear about getting Justin Flo, that crystal ball? How you feel about that, dude? We'll see what happens. That's kind of crazy.
That's very crazy.
Very crazy. That's
Pete,
but
Pete's, Pete's title is hilarious.
what? What?
His title, he said, "I'm opting out of giving an F." I don't blame him, bro.
Oh man.
But
Yeah.
yeah, man, just a great overall day, great overall show. This is amazing. Let you give me something. Is there anything else that you have before I close this out?
I don't think so. I'm gonna post this real quick though. I'm gonna post the bowl pick'em league
Yeah,
again. We're up to 17.
while you're posting that, I'll explain. Guys, we have a bowl pick'em created by yours only, or yours truly. My bad, not his only fans. This is a pick'em college football pick'em bowl, pick'em bowl pick'em, where
Pick
you
'em, pick
pick
'em.
them and you pick the bowls and you pick them. And so, anyways, we're trying to get over 20. There's a cash prize for the winner. If we can get to 30 or 40, the cash prize will get bigger. So tell your friends, hide your kids, hide your wife, get all of them on here, help us out. But yeah, we'll have fun with it. But I appreciate you guys coming on. This was super exciting, and I'm very sure we will see y'all soon. Is that right? Does that sound right to you?
That sounds pretty right to me. It sounds like Saturday night after Florida plays in a bowl game too.
Whoa, y'all play this weekend?
Oh yes, sir. Early. You know we got that good bowl game.
Hey, let's go. What's the name of the bowl?
A Las Vegas Bowl.
Viva Las
Viva
Vegas.
Las Vegas. But yeah, so we'll go over all that kind of stuff. Now, I just wanted to ask you real quick. You want to go over the playoff games next Wednesday?
Yeah, we'll do that.
And
We
we'll
didn't
go
have a
more in
whole lot
depth.
of time.
We'll actually come with stats. We'll come prepared, and we'll do all that.
Yeah, but I will say though, excited for the Georgia Ohio State game. I think the Michigan TCU game is one to Papa Shrimp. Please do not put my business out there, sir. But I do think that the TCU Michigan game, there's a lot more to talk about in that one, just
Yeah.
because that's a sleeper game.
I got TCU all the way. Let's go.
That's what I mean. It's a sleeper.
TCU. Give me the Christian Academy.
Hey, facts.
Let's go. Let's go TCU. Let's go Max Duggan.
Fishen, I
We'll
do
see.
appreciate you. And everybody, if you get the chance, if you have not already, go subscribe to my boy Fishen. And we'll be back at it Saturday night on his channel, and next Wednesday back on here. Every Wednesday night, you'll catch us on this around 8:30 to 9. Every Saturday night, you'll catch us on his channel around the same time, 9 to 10 o'clock. So let us know. Let us know when you're here. We appreciate you coming out, and appreciate you.
Shout out to everybody. Y'all are the MVPs.
Yeah, this was a good one. Appreciate you, Fishing.
Yes, sir.
All right, see y'all, people. Yeah, everybody like the video. Like the video.
Like the video. Like the video. Right now.